the last day of 2025. What do you need to know moving into the new year? This one's a little bit more general. I did a reading for love and career. This is just kind of like scraping the bottom of the pan to find out what else we need to know. So definitely check those out if those are more in your area of interest. I dropped one on the floor. Oh my god. Oh. Damn, look at it. Look at how the mobility exercises are working. Like, this is gonna get banned. We got 5-5 coming through. Energy. Um, mm, it's about like managing conflict in effective and managing conflict effectively, right? Getting your wins in. What do we need to know about this? Oh, another 5 and a 10? Girl. Um, with the 6 of wands on the bottom of the deck. This is oh, this is kind of like talking about like there is no true sense of defeat, as long as you're not dead, right? Some could argue that that's not even true defeat. Really, what shows our character is how we pick ourselves up after the battle is done. And this is basically whether we win or lose, right? I'm reading The Prince because I'm like a podcast bro with Big Booba, and it's really statements about like as we move into power and out of power, how do we how do we show up as someone that we and the people around us might respect, right? And I'm getting a feeling that 2026 is really going to change how we answer that question, because we're going to be seeing it in real time in macro and micro levels. um Bro is like give it to myself. But I think as we move through our spiritual development, we should take the time to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more slow, a little bit more thoughtful as we kind of like integrate any kind of lessons that we get from beyond the veil. What else? I hate being telepathic. Why am I getting roasted right now? It's hateful. Yeah, especially like if you're in an intuitive space, don't just kind of like assume everything that's gonna go on and how it's gonna happen, or your particular path to emotional fulfillment, because life is full of surprises, right? Embracing them is gonna be like a big tool for success. um we've been through a lot in the last few years, um but part of the reason that you've faced so many challenges is so that when they appear again, you already have the tools and the strength and the strategy to handle them head on, so that you can kind of like manifest the type of victories that you would like to see. And sometimes those victories are not going to really make sense to the people around you, because you might have developed a better or a different sense of what fulfillment has looked like based off of like the journey of mind and the types of conflict that you have like dealt with in the past. It's okay to want something that's completely different from other people, even though you might just continue to get shit for it for the rest of your life. It's that's just kind of like what it is. It's sometimes you're just gonna have to embrace that being a unique person has like those drawbacks. You're always gonna have some weird hater screaming from the nosebleeds, right? But you have to be mindful that for every weirdo who can't keep his mouth shut about like how much you suck and how awful you are and this, that, and the third, there's gonna be um 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 10,000 silent people being like, they're cooking, and I just don't even know how to explain how much they mean to me. I've seen them lose, I've seen them get up again, I've seen them win, and it like there's people who have quiet respect for you, and really, how would you ever um, articulate that? Even if you were like, "Hey, dude, I've got quiet respect for you," how would the normal person respond to that? There's no response. Like, thank you for the quiet respect. Like, that's a very like neurodivergent conversation. I think most people will see you trying something new and see the value in that. Um, and yeah, so just be mindful that even if you're not like getting praise out the wazoo, if you feel like you're kind of like in an underrated state, um, don't let that be something that causes you to like stop your motion, that you feel like you're being punished by a few um, outliers, right? The Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck. It's kind of like stay true to the mental world that you kind of developed in all this hardship. You know, people complain about hot and cold energy, but when you are a blacksmith, you alternate hot and cold to temper blades to make them stronger. And honestly, that is what you're doing by taking the time to test things, by applying passionate heat, and then allow yourself to like kind of pull back and see the results, and then doing it again. It creates this kind of system where you're growing into a better understanding of like how to move into the world, and in that movement you're developing a type of strength that is kind of infallible, because when you get knocked down, instead of it being something where you're like, oh no, but I wanted to move, you're comfortable with being still, so you're able to utilize the stillness. And when your stillness is disturbed, instead of being like, no, I needed rest, you're comfortable with those sudden bursts of activity, so you're going to be able to take that and run with it. So it's good shit. Yeah, the world is yours. It might not look like it at this particular point, but 2026 is going to bring some surprises to you. I feel like you're going to be coming out of this like sense of like abandonment, and feeling like you're on the outside looking in, because in reality, um you're shining like these church windows, baby. You might even have been the glass maker. That's all for me. I'll see you next year. In the meantime, if you want to like check out my website, go ham, you know? And if you don't want to go ham because you don't eat pork, just go wherever you want. Who's gonna stop you? Not me. I know that much.